Hey guys, um, so in my last among my JavaScript tutorials, I actually had a comment that was saying that I really need to provide tutorials for JavaScript, Firebase for the web, and yeah, I really need to do that. So in this part of the tutorial, I'm going to tell you really what Firebase is and how we may use Firebase. So first things first. So what is Firebase? Firebase is actually a Google mobile platform that helps you to quickly develop apps and grow a business. True, and it's also in the web platform, so pretty much you can use Firebase to provide backend services for your website, and to some extent, not even to some extent, you can use Firebase for almost anything, including cloud hosting and even cloud messaging, as you see. So the first step in order to be able to create a Firebase app, you could first go to console. Once you have a Gmail account, by default you have a Firebase account, so you just need to go to search Firebase and actually go to their site, and you're going to find something like this. So first you need to add a project. So it tells you which project you want. So in this case, I just want let me call it a weather status app. And I really want it the analytics I'm building region in Kenya, and the project ID is actually this, but I could actually configure mine. So I could say status 001, something like that makes sense, and then create my project. So this automatically helps you to create a project for the web. While it's loading, I could actually go to my to where I store my projects, and actually have a new folder and call it status. I'll just need to open it and open in Atom. So here I'll have my new file, which is index.html. And then I'll just have that and proceed here to say status. And right after that, maybe I'll have an input element, and from that input element I will actually upload my status to my database, and then retrieve my data back to me, and actually attest that it's actually in the database. And I'm gonna be pretty simple on this, so I'll avoid everything about authentication and stuff like that. I'll just go directly and jump to this place. So I'll just need the real-time database. So in locked mode means that makes your database private by denying all reads and writes. True. But in this case you'll actually need to authenticate your users in order to get the user ID. We're gonna use the read true, write true in order for us to actually have read write passes to our database. So here's where the real-time database is, and here while it's loading we will now have our input text. We don't need a text or value, we'll just need an ID. So in order to capture that, and let me call it status, and here we'll then need a button, just a button, and we don't really need the name. We could just give it also an ID, then call it btn write. So pretty much we are writing to the database, and the name the button will actually have will be write. And from there we can actually open this, and you could see it has this and this right. And from here we can actually create a label, and the label could have an ID of status, ID of current status. And it will just take the current status as blank. So that's pretty much that. So current status blank. So once you click this, it's supposed to give you the current status, and that's pretty much that. So the next step we need to do is come here and check stuff out. Let me just find the settings, project settings, and integrations. No. Service accounts. And not really. Simply this: add Firebase to a web app. So we'll just have this, and we'll just need to add it there. That script. So this script pretty much means that you're actually having all the Firebase variables here, objects we need for Firebase, and this is now the configuration object that pretty much has this name value separated list that has our authentication domain, project ID, storage bucket, and stuff like that. So you can go back here and actually get the Firebase SDK reference. So wait for it to load. Go Firebase. You actually need the Firebase app and the Firebase database to be able to view it. Let's just take it from an app I created Firebase app I created. So project.js index just here, open with atom, and here pretty much there is this. So we really need the database and the app. So they really need to be after everything has done. So input it, let's put it right here, and the other one we could put it right before that. So we could have this and this. This one actually uses Firebase 0.2 Firebase 5.0.2. That's the version Firebase we're using. And so here we already have Firebase installed for us, so we can actually come here and try do that, Ctrl+Shift+I, and it tells us that it looks like you're using the development build for Firebase SDK when deploying Firebase apps to your production. It's available only for the individual SDK components you tend to use, which you have, and for the CDN builds, these are available in the following manner: replace package with the name of the component, auth, i.e. auth database etc. So pretty much that's what we've done. So the next step will be to create the script. So this script is when we're going to use actually to set data in our database. So pretty much that is the only thing we need. So here we really don't need a function. This function, let's say set. Okay, let's do set. Set status. And in this function set status, I want us to actually have the status we want to set. So so we're gonna have a variable that will actually hold the database reference, and it's actually called Firebase dot database. That's pretty much it, and you could do that again to just test if it's actually working. It's working. And so having the reference, we can now take the reference and actually have a reference to our parent, and in this case our parent is not defined yet, since we have database. Let's go to the database and check the reference. Since we haven't defined it yet, we could have now database.ref, and we could have .set, right? And now set whatever you want to set. So pretty much you could have now the status, and then set status here, status, and let me just have status, state, and have status. Yes, and that pretty much will set whatever we have in our database. So you can come here and confirm if pretty much what you've done is true. So that's true. So the next thing, actually, since we have set the data, The second thing will actually be now to get the data from our database. Get data. So get data pretty much will be very simple. So you have the db dot ref, and in this case we're going to have a different work of things. So here we're going to get one, so not one but on. So on really means that it will be giving us data while it changes in real time. So on, and on actually takes a value, and it takes actually two arguments. So value A takes a callback function, and now this callback function will actually contain a snapshot of whatever our database actually holds. So now the next thing we'll now be calling, since the snapshot is actually an array, it has the dot for each. So since it has the dot for each, the for each takes a function to actually manipulate the data, so we can actually have a value. So value pretty much is the value of each element, and since we have only one element after we've set it, it's actually going to give us one element. So we're going to just have to have the value of that and place it in the right place. So we want to place it in this id, label id. So let me just do document dot get element by id, and do that current status dot inner html. And I'm going to show us how to use jQuery soon, but I really wanna concentrate on Firebase for now. So it will be equivalent to value. So that will be equivalent to value, and so every time data in the database changes, we'll actually update our label. So now what remaining to do is now add an event listener for our button. So every time you have so btn, it's actually btn status, I guess, btn right, sorry, right, yes, dot add event listener, and this add event listener actually takes a function, two arguments. So one, the event type, so the event type is click, and now takes the actual function to be worked on once click is called. So click is encountered. So so here it will actually set status, and will now have to get whatever value that is in our text box, right? So var status is equals to document.get element, obviously it's status, so element by id, so we have status here, status, I guess that's it, status, yes, that's status, and then dot value, and that should actually take whatever value is in our input and store it there. So here to then take status, right, and now status will be called. So so status will be placed in our database, and then so after that it should get data. Let's call it get status to be more straightforward. Yes, and this should actually update whatever value. Sorry, it should be val, since val is actually an object returned. This is an array of actual objects. So the object is just the name and the value. It's actually an object containing the name value pair. It's just like a JSON string kind of thing. So let's try this. Let's just reload and check if syntax is correct. I hope it won't take much time. So that's there. Let's try to write something like board, and as you can see, board has been changed in our label. So let's try and write something like triad. Triad has been changed in our label, and in our database you can actually go and view that. So let's go to our database. Let's go here and just enable it once more and just check out real-time database. So as you can see, dismiss. As you can see, triad has been placed here. So let's try and change something, this time not in this page but actually in the database. So let's try hey. As you can see, hey has changed. The label we have has changed to hey. So that's pretty much what Firebase really helps you to create a backend view of your app. So if you've liked this tutorial, please kindly subscribe and comment if you feel that anything hasn't been discussed. So in the next part of this tutorials, we'll actually be looking on authentication of users and actually having to use Firebase in the text in the locked mode, so no one can really read and write data of your database without authentication. Great. So